The constant vibration of a turbulent red-eye flight over the Atlantic makes it hard to focus. Then, the overhead intercom crackles, and a terrified whisper leaks through the static. A sweat-slicked grip tightens around a leather-bound notebook. That notebook belongs to Officer Jake Reynolds. He is currently transporting this highly classified piece of evidence, which his team recently extracted from a sealed, long-abandoned crime scene in Cedar Falls, Iowa. The contents of those pages rewrite a closed case. They contain physical proof that Emily Carter's suicide 3 years ago was staged, alongside a specific airline manifest marking tonight's flight as the next site of the killer's design. Before Jake can read the final page, a massive electrical surge trips the airplane circuits. A sudden system failure plunges the entire cabin into darkness. From the first-class section, a sharp scream cuts through the cabin as a flight attendant discovers a fresh body. The victim is arranged in a precise, unnatural posture in seat 12B. This specific positioning matches the ink schematic on page 42 of the recovered notebook. Daniel Hayes, the primary suspect in the Cedar Falls investigation, is actively hunting on this flight. He has hijacked a transatlantic route to execute the next phase of his design. Jake cracks open the notebook under a dim emergency light. To predict how Hayes intends to navigate the confined space of a commercial airplane, Jake has to understand the killer's original methods in Iowa. The Cedar Falls case reopened because of an impossible phone call. At 2:17 a.m., dispatch received a frantic 911 plea from Emily Carter, a call made exactly 3 years after her declared date of death. Responding officers breached the boarded-up Carter house on Maple Street in 8 minutes. Inside, the living room sat completely frozen in time, choked with dust and heavy, stale air. Upstairs, a slow, dragging sound led them to Emily's untouched bedroom. There, wiped directly into the thick dust of a cracked vanity mirror, were 3 words: "He never left." Investigators found the source in the attic. Tucked behind a false wall was a hidden crawl space outfitted with survival gear, food wrappers, and a hardwired camera positioned to record Emily's bed. Daniel Hayes did not break into the house to attack and flee. He silently inhabited the architecture itself, living directly above his victim just to document her final days. Hayes spent years working as a residential contractor before shifting to a role as an avionics maintenance specialist for the airline's primary vendor. He understands the structural anatomy of buildings and the electronic nerve centers of commercial aircraft. This animated schematic compares hidden void spaces in a residential home and an airliner. Expanding the airplane's cross-section reveals an expansive network of maintenance crawls and ventilation shafts running out of sight directly above the overhead bins. An airplane functions as a flying house. The reality of that blueprint hits the cabin instantly. A heavy, deliberate footstep echoes against the aluminum ceiling panels right above aisle 4, slowly dragging its way toward the back of the plane. The passengers are trapped inside a machine where the killer has physical dominance over the blind spots. Jake pries open a restricted floor hatch in the galley and drops into the avionics bay beneath the main cabin. He navigates the oppressive, cramped maintenance shafts using only the narrow beam of his flashlight. Deep behind the exposed aircraft wiring, the light catches a disturbing parallel to the Carter house. Tucked between the metal bulkheads is a crude nest made from airplane blankets and scattered food wrappers. Sitting inside the nest is a glowing monitor. Using his background in avionics maintenance, Hayes tapped directly into the plane's flight data bus, splicing a live feed from the internal security cameras onto his own screen. Jake pulls out the leather-bound notebook to check the final pages. Sketched meticulously in pencil on the very last page is a portrait of Jake himself. He is the final target. An internal maintenance phone mounted to the wall suddenly blares. Jake lifts the receiver, and a fragile, terrified voice whispers through the static, pleading for help. It is the exact audio from the 2:17 a.m. dispatch tape. Hayes is using Emily's recorded agony to hold the investigators' attention, weaponizing the recorded audio as a decoy while he steps out from the dark blind spot directly behind Jake. By leaving the notebook in the abandoned Carter house, Hayes ensured that a high-profile investigator like Jake would be assigned to transport it. Knowing the specific federal courier protocols for this highly sensitive evidence chain, Hayes calculated the exact commercial flight Jake would be forced to take, turning the investigator into the final prey.